Oh, hi everyone. Welcome back to Blend Weekly. And this week's challenge was all about being warm and cozy in the wintertime. Let's take a look at what our artists did this week. Okay, so for week 3, the first one I wanted to look at was the submission from Colin. And I feel like overall he did a pretty good job of conveying the feeling of the warm indoor scene contrasting with the cool outdoor, and you can tell that it's also nighttime outside. And taking a look in more detail at the scene that he has set up, we got a nice Christmas theme with a Christmas tree in the corner and some presents under the tree. So maybe this is Christmas Eve. You have the stockings, right? So you can tell that Christmas is, people are waiting for Christmas to come. If we take a look at some of the details of the image, some of the things that bother me a little bit are the differences in the different brick textures. You can see that the wall has fairly well applied brick texture, but then if you take a look at the brick texture on the fireplace, you can see that the size of the bricks is very different. So that kind of ends up causing a bit of a confusion there in terms of, like, generally you would only use one size of brick. Also, the UV unwrapping for the inside of the window isn't quite as nice. What I probably would have done to avoid that is to just put in a little frame. So just model something like a frame in here that hides the fact that the UVs are kind of unaligned. That would have solved that problem. And overall, though, I do like the composition. I actually really like the floor material. It's beautiful wood floors that actually really does look really nice and clean. And I like how the fire is reflecting off of the floor, and I like how the train set is reflecting, and even the moon is reflecting. So then you get this. It really helps to pull the whole scene together. But the wall is kind of a distraction to that. But overall, I really like the composition quite a lot. So thanks, Colin. And feel free to put messages in. Colin sent me a little message saying, "Merry Christmas to all my Blender friends." And he admitted as well that some of the things were things he wasn't really wanting to, he would have wished to work on more. And that's fine. He said he could have improved the lighting, but honestly, I think the lighting was actually quite nice. You get this idea of the moon. You can even see a little bit of those rays coming in from the moon. So I think lighting was not really the issue. I think that it was the, maybe in this side, the lighting might have been a bit of a problem. But like overall, I think really the only thing that's really affecting, in my opinion, here is the texture on the wall. But anyway, thank you, Colin, again for submitting. And don't forget, you can check out his Instagram page and his ArtStation here. Now, next, let's take a look at our next submitter. And OMara is bringing in his snowman again for a second appearance in the challenges. And this time, his snowman has... I kind of like the idea of this being the same snowman and the same house where he took a joyride in the car earlier, and now he's broken into their family house and warming himself by the fire. And I just really like that idea. Kind of reminds me of Frozen with Olaf. And he does a good job of kind of showing the melting of the snow and the light of the fireplace, and does excellent job of having the warm versus cold contrast. Overall, I actually like the textures he's applied here, although in terms of modeling, there's an issue here with the let's see if I zoom in, the edge of the fireplace. I'm not exactly sure what's going on here in this corner. I don't have any idea how this functions in reality, but aside from that, it looks good. And the window glass is quite nice. I wish there was a little bit more detail on the outside. I wish I could see a little bit more of the outdoor in the scene, but overall has a really good complement of the idea of the warm and cold. So very, very good, OMara, again, and thank you for another great submission. And last for today, we have Darcy, who was able to submit the correct file this time and has come up with a really nice shot. Once again, all three of these artists have been able to do the contrast really well, and I think actually Darcy's conveys it best because he has really good lighting with the red light of the indoor scene and then the dark blue of a cold afternoon outside. And overall, the composition here is quite nice. Good use of rule of thirds for the position of the cup, and I like this the heat coming off of the cup. Now, it's not entirely photorealistic, but that wasn't a requirement in any sense, and I think that overall it really helps to convey this warm sense of a nice hot cup of chocolate. Darcy also submitted a little letter to go along with his file, and let's take a look at what he said. So in this, he wanted to show the differences between the outside and the inside. I did take a look at the Blender file. It said it took him 16 hours to render, and I think I remember he said he forgot to apply the subsurf modifier on the cup, so then he had to render it again. He said not a lot of modeling that was done. Landscape add-on and the sapling add-on were used for the majority of the outside, but use of add-ons is totally encouraged, and there's no reason why you can't. And if you were working in the industry doing any sort of compositing or 3D art or 3D animation work, you're going to use whatever tools you have available, and that's fine. I think the cup did turn out really well. He said that there's not much modeling, but it looks good. And I guess the only thing that I feel bothers me about this scene is I don't know whether this is an indoor or like it's on a deck or something, because I can't tell here. I can't tell if this edge here is actually glass. It looks like glass is reflecting, but then there's no reflection in the glass of the cup. You would think that there'd be some reflection of the cup, or even reflection of some of the indoor scene behind, and that's kind of lost. Also, there's a reflection here. First, I didn't notice that, but I don't know what this reflection is and how come it's not. I guess it's a gloss that's only reflecting at a certain point. But that kind of bothers me a little bit. But the rest of the scene is good. The only other thing that I wish he had had a bit more time to spend on was the material of the scarf. I think this is a scarf. Now, two things. Firstly, I'm not sure how a scarf, like why I would wrap a scarf around the cup. Maybe to keep it warm, I suppose. But it might make more sense to have it like folded and like resting here, or like on a chair and it's folded over the chair or something like that. But if we just look at the scarf in isolation, if we look at the material of the scarf, it's a little bit looks like it's a little bit pixelated, a little bit stretched here, and we're losing some of that it doesn't really have that cottony feel to it that a scarf would have. If anyone has a really good cloth fabric material that they'd like to share, feel free to post it on the group or in the comments below, and hopefully Darcy will see that and he'll be able to maybe make some improvements on the scarf material for next time. And I think that's it. So we're going to try to do the voting again. If you like any of these artworks, don't forget to vote on which one you like best. Do you like Colin's indoor-outdoor scene? Do you like the snowman sneaking in made by OMara? Or do you like the hot cup of hot chocolate from Darcy? let me know and put your vote in. And don't forget to also, if you have any other comments, always happy to see your comments down below. So that's all. If you don't know how to vote, just find the little icon in the top right of the video, click on that eye icon, and then all the different artists will be there, and you can click on who you think should win. Now, this is last week's, and I can see the results out of the people who voted. Actually, it looks like Colin was the winner of the popular vote. And so let's see who wins this week. And that's all for today's show. If you like that, don't forget to press the like button, and don't forget to subscribe if you want to catch the next video when it comes out. Also, if you want to see what we did last week and what the artists created, you can check out that video there. And if you want to check out what the final week of this month's challenge is, you can check this video. It's going to be a good one. And that's it. Have a wonderful night.